This is One-on-One. This segment is simply part of a much larger initiative that we're involved in here in public television and FiOS on all of our platforms called Right from the Start NJ. It's a public awareness campaign that tries to focus on the issues that matter, the challenges, the opportunities for infants and toddlers. And we are pleased to welcome as part of that series, Kaitlin Mulcahy, Associate Director of the Center for Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health, Montclair State University, a great university.
Yes.
Happens to be my alma mater,
Oh,
great place. So this Right from the Start NJ campaign, you were part of a forum with 8 professionals in the field. What was the biggest takeaway for you? We did 3 half hours. By the way, go on our website, Right from the Start NJ. You can see excerpts from it. What was your biggest takeaway? Because I thought, oh, we can have enough to talk about. That's an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, the biggest takeaway was that we didn't have enough time to talk about all of the ways that this campaign can impact our society.
Like?
So when we talk about infants and toddlers, we talk about prenatal, parenting, we hit everything: economics, politics, workforce, how we are as a society. We actually, education, health, it is the start of who we all become. So it's almost like you can never have enough time to talk about it.
Why don't we, as a society, talk about infants and toddlers and prenatal care more?
I think, unfortunately, our paradigm has been towards intervention down the line.
What does that mean?
So intervening
Wait till there's a problem later?
Right, intervening in problems rather than promoting health. And you can look at lots of politics to see that that's how our paradigm has been. I think we have an opportunity now to shift.
Paradigm meaning our model, our worldview, the way we choose to deal with things.
Mm-hmm. I think we have an opportunity now to shift and understand that that is not only expensive, it's too late. We need to think about early intervention as early as we can.
Define it. Early intervention for what and with whom?
For families at the beginning. So the earliest
Give us
moments.
for instance.
Earliest moments of family development, prenatal. We don't do enough to support families when they're expecting children, particularly in different communities. So there's an enormous disparity in the access to prenatal care.
I mean, but no disrespect, I'm devil's advocate.
Yeah.
The baby's not there.
Right, not yet.
Okay, so what?
Why is it so important?
Yeah.
Because of what we have learned about the brain growth in the womb and also prenatal experience for parents. So a pregnant mom, if she's under stress, the baby feels that stress.
The baby feels that stress?
Yes, yes.
Biologically?
Biologically feels that stress and actually can have their genetic code changed because of the stress of the parent.
Therefore?
Therefore, we have to start that early, supporting our young families so that they can get a better start in life. The amount of research that's been done on how important early intervention is to prevent issues down the line, like special education, juvenile delinquency, promoting graduation in high school, all of that can be linked to the first 3 to 5 years of life.
So it's interesting when someone, and I know there are studies that back this up, and we did talk about it in our forum, Right from the Start NJ forum. But what struck me is someone says, well, you know, say it costs check on this number, between $30,000 and $40,000 a year to house someone in a correctional facility.
Right.
Well, you don't have a choice. Meaning you don't get to say as a taxpayer, I don't want to support that. Meaning it's going to happen.
Right.
There is a connection, unless I have this wrong, between what happens birth, prenatal, if you will, to 3. If that infant toddler does not get what he or she needs, particularly given other socioeconomic factors, there's a greater likelihood that that person, as he or she grows, could potentially wind up dealing with criminal issues. Am I making too much?
Yes, no.
Am I oversimplifying it?
No, I think we have to speak quite clearly, and you can do a linear watch from what happens in the earliest years to what happens later. And typically it has to do with educational outcomes. And then from there, we know that if you don't have strong education, you're not going to get a job. When you don't have a job, you don't have economic opportunity, and you look for other adaptive strategies, oftentimes that might take you to a criminal behavior. So from the beginning, you can actually prevent those things which cost way more money.
Talk about cost. Early childhood professionals. And I say professionals because some are professionals.
Yes.
Some just work there. They're not,
Yes.
I shouldn't say they're not professionals, but they don't have all the same credentials. How well trained are they, and how consistent is that training?
Right, it's not consistent. And unfortunately, while some people might have beautiful hearts and be amazing caregivers,
They really care.
They really care. It is a hard job People call it babysitting. It's actually brain building.
Brain building?
Brain
what
building.
do you mean by that?
We know that the earliest relationships are what builds the brain in the first 3 to 5 years of life. It's those children's relationships with caregivers. So when we sort of disparage these people who do this work all day long.
They're babysitting.
They're babysitting, yes. And some of our families have to use care from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. at night. So yes, it's absolutely parents' job to raise children. I've heard that argument many times, oh, it's a parent's job. We don't want to put our money into these public services. But for many, many families, they are using public services from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. So those caregivers at those centers are crucially important to those children. It's not taking away the parent. It's saying, we've got to bring everybody in. It actually literally does take a village. That is not a saying. That is not a political statement. That is truth. That is fact. Anybody who has a family knows that regardless of socioeconomic status, you need your people. You need your people around you.
Sorry for interrupting. What is it, Kaitlin, that what should we be doing as a society, whether in terms of public policy or actions in other ways, to raise the standards for those who are caring for the most vulnerable, infants and toddlers?
Yes, I think initially it needs to go with raising their wages. It's very difficult to ask those people who work in that field to go to school to get more education when they don't have a living wage to go to their jobs. And most of those families, most of those women, principally who work at these childcare centers, also have to send their children to childcare. And because they make a certain wage, their children are going to less quality childcare centers, and it's this cascade of disparity. So first, their wages need to be increased without question. Then, yes, we do need to professionalize. And we are doing a good job in this state, actually. We are working to professionalize the workers who work in early care and education through a number of different initiatives. One is the Grow NJ Kids initiative.
Grow NJ Kids. By the way, go on our website right from the start, NJ, you'll see this initiative. Tell everyone again what it is and why it matters.
So that's the name in New Jersey for our quality.
Grow NJ Kids.
Grow NJ Kids. It's our quality rating improvement system. So the quality rating improvement system is actually a national initiative to raise the quality of early care and education in the states. And states sign on, and we have done that. And one of the things that's required is to professionalize, to raise the training of the people who are doing the work. We also have professional organizations like the Coalition for Infant Toddler Educators, and one that I'm involved in, which is called the New Jersey Association for Infant Mental Health.
All these organizations will be listed on this campaign on the website. Before I let you go, what do you hope right from the start NJ accomplishes over the several years that we hope to be doing what we're doing?
Yes, so I think a huge opportunity is to ensure that many people who interact with infants, toddlers, and young children are brought to the same table, similar like you did today. We talked about how...
In the forum.
In the forum, yes. There's more to talk about. There's so much more to talk about. And because it touches so many different constituents and agencies, it's important for us to be on the same page. We can't prioritize one thing over another. Universal pre-K versus early intervention versus home visiting. That's not our job. Our job is to say this is all connected. If we actually want to be right from the start, we all have to be together.
Can't thank you enough for being part of this most important effort, and thank our friends and colleagues at the Montclair State University. Well done.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Investors Bank, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSE&G, NJM Insurance Group, Delta Dental of New Jersey, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, and by Johnson & Johnson. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.